certified cinephiles.
All right, you know what time it is. We have quite the episode to you. We have a very interesting episode for you guys today, guys and gals. Welcome,
movie tuners.
We were on the fence about posting this episode. This one caused another legal battle for us.
What's new?
So Christian Culkin is no longer representing us because of this movie episode, but
we have succeeded him.
Yes, we have. Who's our new lawyer now?
It's hard to keep up. Honestly.
Yeah, he gets kind of mad at us because we don't actually call him by his name, but his name is J.D. Scott.
I don't remember him.
And for all our listeners out there, you might recognize the last name Scott, because tell him, Pat.
Well, because I don't remember him, but I do remember his two brothers who are fantastic. You may know them as the Property Brothers.
That's right. They flip houses.
The two good Scott boys. So
JD, the third brother that is a lawyer and not in property, has decided to take us on because his brother's working in there, his sister-in-law Zoe Deschanel working in the industry. He stands by us, and he's honestly a huge fan of the pod. He's a day oneer fan of the pod. But yeah,
he and his squad, no cap, made Improver Alert tees.
Yeah, no cap.
That they are wearing for.
They wear them and they go on bar crawls. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so cool.
They go on these bar crawls down on Melrose and like Fairfax and stuff. It's hilarious. They're doing all this stuff. But yeah, Pat keeps forgetting his name and just calls him the other Property Brother, which it's really funny, but that it pisses this guy off. It gets him real mad.
I should be stoked to have we're kind of going downhill with the celebrity lawyers now. Like, I'm afraid we peaked the third Property Brother. Is that really where we're at now? Is that the kind of podcast we are? And we've already had a goth lawyer. We had Chris Angel, no relation to Chris Angel, but he dresses like him. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know. I mean,
beggars can't be choosers. We're looking.
That's very true, Will, and I will let his work speak for itself.
Yeah, you have been getting a lot more parts because of the manager and getting to play gay Scooby-Doo and all of that.
Yes.
So I know that you're a little bit more in the industry than I, but it sounds like our manager is going to be sort of making waves for us with this. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're coming around. Everything is going really well for me. I am, as I revealed in the last episode, I am playing gay black Scooby-Doo on season 2 of Velma on HBO Max. I almost forgot about that until Will reminded me.
I think about it every single day as an opportunity that I truly, I didn't even bat an eye at. And look at you now. You're making some serious dough, and God, you've really, next thing I know, you're going to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Patrick Richardson, gay black Scooby-Doo.
And you know what?
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, here's the thing is, when I saw that casting call, we don't need to get into it, but Patrick stepped up to the plate, and you deserve all of the success. And I for one, am very happy for you. And
Thank you.
yeah, it's a good lesson for me to take, not pass off all of these, sort of submissions I've been getting.
You have to take risks in this business, brother.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means playing a gay black man, voicing a gay black man. And did I forget about my role as that because I'm so busy right now? And did I wish I could have prepared for you to bring that up so I could talk about it on this podcast? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm a professional, so it's okay.
Yeah, just I got a really cool submission. Yeah, this one is it looks like the role name would be Real Man Number 2, who dances, moves uninhibitedly. For the project name is it's from a pharmaceutical company.
Oh.
And it says, "Good afternoon. We are submitting on a project that you would be portraying someone with HIV. Let us know ASAP if you're interested." I said, "Yeah, sure, of course."
Nice.
And
Did your agent sent our manager sent that to you?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Right from
That's
their top dog. So I'm getting opportunities left and right too. So pretty cool.
I just got like a offer for like a kind of like a side character in season 2 of Poker Face.
What do you mean?
It's like kind of the character's kind of written around me, like my real self, so I don't even really have to act. And it's like a bunch of money.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. We're living large. It's going good for the certified cinephiles, guys.
Yeah.
One.
You're gonna have just like we said, you're gonna have a Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Speaking of, that brings us to our movie today. We're talking about the 1994 incredible epic called Jimmy Hollywood. This movie is hands down my favorite movie of all time, without question.
I was wondering, because you talk about Jimmy Holly, you are always bringing up Jimmy Hollywood. You are, you're saying he's your spirit animal. I've heard you say that Jimmy Hollywood's your spirit animal. So
yeah, and people do say that's offensive that I say spirit animal and all that stuff, but blood work pending. I am 164th Cherokee Nation, so
no, don't bring this up.
I'm just saying, it's possible. So I've been told my entire life. I have genealogists in my family that supposedly can trace things back. So there is proof out there somewhere. And
all right, well, if you can get that genealogist family member on the pod to kind of give us some of the evidence as to how and what percentage number you are indigenous to America.
Well, see, with Cherokee Nation, it's not about blood quantuming, where it's like telling you percentage. It's all about if you have a direct descendant that signed on the blood scrolls when they marched the Trail of Tears.
And you do?
Because of Andrew Jackson. Supposedly I do. Yeah. So but also supposedly I'm related to Andrew Jackson. So,
that is
I don't know how does that cancel?
A beautiful metaphor.
Might cancel each other out. Might cancel each other.
The lascivious double nature of the human brain. Half
so we're
indigenous, half Andrew Jackson.
We're talking Jimmy Hollywood. This movie stars none other than Joe Pesci in the prime of his career.
Wig. With one of the best prosthetic wigs I've ever seen. For 94?
Yeah, and he claims it was not a wig, it's his real hair.
That's
I
wig
believe
tech.
it. Yeah, I believe that it's his real hair. I'm in the real hair camp of this movie. If you
That's
know what Joe
incredible.
Pesci went through for this movie, it just doesn't seem. I do think his hair's dyed. I do think his hair's dyed. He's not a natural blonde in this, but you know what? I think that's his real hair.
Weigh in on the hashtag certified cinephiles Joe Pesci's hair with your vote on whether you think it's real or fair. We don't want another CIA scenario where Will, for some reason, thinks the CIA wasn't an actor. It wasn't a animal actor. He thinks it was CGI. But no, Spy May and CIA were both real animal actors.
Well,
open and shut case.
And Joe, so not only do we have Pesci, from Goodfellas to Home Alone to, of course, Jimmy Hollywood, the movie that you probably have never heard of. We also had Christian Slater, a beautiful 1994 Christian Slater. And, of course, we have playing the lead lady in this film, Victoria Abril. This is her first, she's a Spanish actor. This is her first American film. And, yeah, she's smoking. She's smoking in this.
Someone order the fajitas.
Yeah, they're sizzling. And the whole thing is super believable. It makes a lot of sense. And this movie is a gorgeous look at, the trials and tribulations of being an actor and pursuing your dream. Sure, this is, of course, on a surface level about a guy wanting to make it big in Hollywood and holding on to the Hollywood that he thought of back in when he worked sales in New Jersey to what the reality is that he's living. But also that this is any dream. This is the dream that you don't have to sit by and watch the world crumble around you. You can take matters into your own hands. One of my favorite lines of this entire movie is, hey, Gotham City has Batman, but who does Hollywood have?
Who?
Yeah.
Jimmy Hollywood.
It's got Jimmy fucking Hollywood. Absolutely amazing. Pat, initial responses. I know I made you watch this film twice. In back
I get
to back.
It's your favorite movie.
Yeah, because you just can't catch it all. You can't catch it all right, like with
clocking
one
in
watch.
At just under 2 hours. This movie's dense, and you can't catch it all. You can't catch it all in one sitting. So yes, Will made me watch it twice, back to back, shotgun style. And did I retain much of it because it was so draining on me? No, but I think for me, a movie is more about, even if it's just playing in front of me, no matter if I'm like fully paying attention, I absorb it through osmosis. And I know when an essence of a movie is good and the essence of a movie is trash movie. And this movie, not trash movie. Does that make sense? It's truly a
superpower. It's a superpower of his. I think that, the majority people. All right, am I gonna have to turn off the chat today? Okay.
What are they doing? I have them muted.
He didn't. Okay, sure. He had a para in school, but that doesn't mean anything. A lot of people had paras. Who? They're talking about you, Pat. They're saying you had a para in school. We're here to say that you having a para, anybody having a para in school doesn't make them less of anything. So,
are they talking about Shauna? What's a para?
Yeah, the gal that would, hang out with you in class, the older woman.
Shauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that, so? A couple other kids have.
That's what I'm saying. Like, exactly, Pat. A couple other kids have it too. Yeah,
what?
Paralegal.
What are they saying about that? Do I need to? Should I unmute my chats?
No, we're good. Chat, you know what? You can go to bed today. All right. Okay, Pat. You know what? What's
you fat fuck? You shouldn't have ever been let out of elementary school.
Yeah, no, they're just. It's just your dad's friends. It's no big deal.
He had to.
It's just your dad's friends.
My dad had to. I get why they're being this way with me. My dad had to kind of fire a lot of guys. He's cutting back. The profits are not what they used to be in the Harley Davidson industry, and it's just hard for everyone. Don't take it out on me because my dad has to cut the fat at the Harley dealership. I'm just a kid. Well, I mean, I'm 32, but you're older than me.
Mm-hmm. Older and dumber.
Is T-Rex one of them? T-Rex is suspended right now.
Yeah. But, yeah, you never know. He has his ways. He has his ways getting around there.
He has sock accounts.
Yeah. So, Pat, one thing that I know that we've talked briefly about, but what was some of your favorite takeaways the second time around that you didn't quite catch in the first?
I mean, I really wish that you would have given me like at least a lunch break between the two.
Mm-hmm. I felt like it was very important that it really should be treated as a 4-hour film.
But so it's kind of hard to like, separate the two. Mm-hmm. You asked me what was my favorite part of rewatching it.
Yeah.
I think just like the second rewatch, you kind of, when you rewatch, not the second rewatch, but when you rewatch a movie, you kind of are able, if it's not a great movie, you're kind of able to see the seams on it, like, oh, this scene's here because it sets up this. This movie didn't have seams except on the wig, but the plot is locked in.
Yeah, it really is.
It's tight. It's airtight is what I was trying to say. And I really noticed that on the second watch, because the first watch I'm just like so focused on the wig.
Yeah.
And then the second watch I'm like, my blood sugar's low.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I really should have given you some food.
An apple.
Yeah. A granola bar. You're right. But you know what? I do feel like...
I think you have fruit snacks.
Yeah, fasting through this movie, I think would have... It is helpful for the mind to really grasp what's going on. This movie... Critics will say that this movie is... lifeless, dog shit. They will say terrible things like boring, doesn't make sense. But what you need to realize is that this movie was supposed to be and always will be an attack on the industry. And
yes,
if you look at this movie, if you find a physical copy anywhere, eBay, some store that might have it, even when this was in Blockbuster, in large letters on the box, it would say, "This movie differs from the original theatrical release." Now, when you go online to stream this, if you go to find the Blu-ray, you're never going to find the director's cut, because the director's cut is a theatrical release. What was in the theatrical release was theorized to be an absolute insider's look coming from the writer and director of this movie's very own perspective, Barry Levinson, about how this industry works and why it's corrupt from the get-go. Mm-hmm. We are fed, as consumers, we are fed this idea of this is what the industry is, but in reality, the industry, not just Hollywood itself, but the industry is a very gross, unforgiving, very harsh place, where it is controlled by a very few couple of people doing very, very dark and dirty things. And they have
and
their
they
hands
decide
in-
which movies do well and which movies don't do well.
And yeah, and for the most part, is it about entertainment? No. Is it about the art of cinema? Hell no. It's about money. It's about money, and they're fucking us with it. And
It's sometimes even about sex, which is cool, but not even enough. It's mostly about money.
Yeah, it's about sex and money.
It's only about sex sometimes because sex sells.
This is true. Is sex sells, and it's a power move. You know, money is power, sex is power. It's all about power, but it's easier to understand if you think in the sorts of the thought processes that everybody has. So Barry Levinson, the writer and director of this movie, has not been heard of or seen since the release of this film. Completely gone. Some people say he fled from the industry, from the government. Some people say he had a hit out on him and he was killed.
Yeah. I did see a couple Reddit comments. There is a theory that because he is also the director of Rain Man, he did have like a pretty decent sized grassroots movement of disabled people angry at him. So there is a theory online that this special group
that is a theory. They got him. They got him. That is definitely a theory, but the most likely scenario was that this industry paid top dollar to make sure that this guy never said a peep. That his press release.
That's what. Just to make it clear, that's also what I believe that, but I'm just saying I like to give other angles, just not ours.
It's important to cover our bases with any investigation. It's important to give you, the listener, as much information as possible, just because, you know, we're only two guys that can only do so much, but we also have a lot of pressure from not only law enforcement, the government, and the industry.
Dozens of lawyers.
Getting gang stalked. And yeah, at this point, we have to follow our legal counsel. And we have our hands tied in a lot of different lawsuits. People are very angry at us. So we do want to make sure we give you as much information as possible.
And I have a gang stalking update.
Uh-oh.
It's not just that they're biting my food when I'm not looking. These deep state agents that are gang stalking me, I think they are now going the extra step. They're poisoning me. I just had food poisoning.
Oh, no.
And it doesn't make sense that I would get food poisoning on the Super Bowl. That's one of the highest, that's one of the most important days.
Yeah.
In the entertainment industry.
Riddle me
so
this.
It doesn't make sense that God would let me get food poisoning on that day. So, yeah, I'm thinking that some of these gang stalkers poisoned some of these dips that I was sticking my fingers in.
Riddle me this, cinephiles. How come at a Super Bowl party of, how many people was it? 10, 15?
10.
How many of them got food poisoning?
None.
Except for Patrick. All of them partaking in these dips. It was a very large array of dips. And sure, they had been sitting out unattended for a very long time. And
were some of them scuzzy? Yeah, but who doesn't mind? It's the Super Bowl. You eat a scuzzy dip.
Yeah, and they got warm, but they were left out. That's the thing. This was a brutal attack.
The
trying
cold
to end
dips
his
got
life.
warm. The warm dips got cold, but that wasn't going to stop me.
And it shouldn't. You shouldn't have to worry about that. But listeners, this is the type of crazy shit that we are up against every single fucking day. Every single day, especially Patrick. The lengths that they will go to ruin his life are absolutely great. And I think it's because...
Who's this an impression of? Who's? Sorry if you're just a audio listener, but who's this an impression of, Will? Who was that?
That was you.
It was me. It was an impression of me, looking behind my back, worried at all times that I'm being gang stalked, and this isn't just in my head.
No, you should see. So Patrick has started to, per recommendation from our legal counsel, Patrick has started to document each and every time that he's being gang stalked. So Patrick will walk around with 3 to 4 different GoPros strapped to different parts of his body, and the results are shocking. I mean, we found several people following him on a consistent basis.
People were pulling out their phones. They were taking pictures of me. They were staring at me. Mm-hmm. I'm being gang stalked.
There's no doubt about it, and it's absolutely despicable behavior, but it just goes to show that there's no end to the lengths that this industry will go to silence the people and the truth on this. So Jimmy Hollywood, if you haven't seen this film, stop what you're doing and watch it. Set 4 hours of time and make sure you watch it from front to back and then repeat it. Okay?
I would
repeat that shit.
It's Will's favorite movie. It's like in my top 7. I would suggest taking a lunch break between the 2 viewings, but Will says not to because you want to be in that kind of like
be fresh. This is one of the best endings. This is one of the best endings of any movie to ever happen. And I just pay very close attention when you're watching this movie. There will be giant gaps of time that just disappear in the plot. Write those down. Take note of that. I'm talking college professor level, like you're writing your dissertation on this shit. Write those down and you will start to connect the dots about what Hollywood did to Levinson, why they didn't want this movie in the public's eye. There's a reason why he didn't do any press for this. Pesci didn't do press. Slater didn't do press. Nobody did press on this movie. Harrison Ford is in this movie. Harrison Ford
didn't speak a word of it.
This movie, and
Will ran into Harrison Ford at a juicer at a juice stand, and he asked him about this movie. And what did Harrison Ford say to you again, Will?
He had no recollection of it.
He's like, what the fuck? He was like, what the fuck? Get away from me.
Yeah. He was very bothered by me.
You look like you have AIDS.
He was very bothered by me. And said I looked like I had AIDS. Which was really cruel because I was just a little bit hungover from the Scientology party. That was it.
Oh my God, I told you not to go to that.
It was just a little fun party. It was a networking event. It was in conjunction with the assistants that all work at Lionsgate. So it was.
Did you link and build?
I feel like I linked and build with a lot of the assistants at Lionsgate, but I didn't realize this.
Is Lionsgate's a Scientology company?
They apparently partner up quite a bit. They partner up with Golden Era Productions. Golden Era Productions, I do get a lot of casting calls for that. A lot of casting calls. Look at this one. Let me read you.
Is that where you got the no? Yeah, show me more. The AIDS guy was from our manager.
Yes, HIV. Okay, so this one.
We're all about harm reduction on Certified Cinephiles.
Okay, teacher doing a lecture to students. Office worker. You are on a date. This one's $300 and gas reimbursed. Ooh, where's that located? Palm Springs. Ooh, so they want you to drive out there. That'd be kind of fun, meeting up with them out there. Ooh, see, look at this.
You have to pay them $300?
Yeah, that's it. So for only $400 on this one, they said lead of the film, seen in various situations, interacting with people both on and off work. Get this. I would pay only $300 for this one. Character has lost his job and is now without hope regarding his future. Sound like somebody? Jimmy Hollywood. This is character Robert.
Will?
This is Yeah.
I just have a question. What the fuck are you talking about?
These
I
are
told you not
cast.
to.
These
I
are
told you
casting
not to
calls.
deal with. Our
Look.
manager is doing great things for us. You don't need to be dealing with these people. We
Speak
already
for
have
yourself,
enough
but,
things going on with the deep state and our lawyers. We
I
don't
like
need
to grind.
another group of very dedicated people after us.
Here's the thing. We have a lot of people against us. We need to fight fire
Backs
with fire.
against the wall. What did we say at the sleepover last night? Backs against the wall.
Yeah, backs against the wall. And that's why we've come into possession of several pieces of firearms. And
Hey, what did JD say?
Not to talk about the firearms. And you remember his name.
Right.
Good job.
Mark? Yeah. I'm trying. At least for the pod.
Yeah.
I'll mark a little part here to take that out.
Sorry. Well, I just want to say that, maybe we fight fire with fire, and if there is one organization that knows how to fight fire against this industry, it's the Church of Scientology. I mean, they're scary. They get you a loan, and they are very good at getting you to talk about your deepest, darkest secrets. They get you on a reader.
That's why I don't want you hanging out with them.
You're tapped up. They're reading your meter, and they're talking about, like, hey, what's it like the first time you kissed a guy, and like, how did you feel about that? And I just said it was purely experimental, and I actually feel very comfortable about that. And then they said, what about the times that your parents got divorced? And I talked about that too. I talked all about my parents' divorce. And they keep it. That's what's so nice. They keep a catalog.
Can we get back to the movie?
Back to Jimmy Hollywood.
Thank you. God.
This movie, what makes this movie so amazing.
You get me I hate those people. And I shouldn't say that on here because they're, quite frankly, insane. And I already have so much stress in my life. And now you're going to invite these people into our home?
Well, God, I would love if they could come over.
That was a metaphor.
I would love if they could come over. Yeah.
Can we talk about what the fuck?
Sorry. Yeah, we've really gotten off the rails.
What the fuck are you talking about?
We really have gotten off the rails. We're back to Jimmy Hollywood. Joe Pesci plays a struggling actor.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Midlife. He moves from New Jersey, where he was selling aluminum for his entire life. He moves from New Jersey to find his true calling on the streets of Hollywood as an actor. But he can't book anything. But God, is he trying. He is trying left and right. He's got a beautiful girlfriend, and he's got a wonderful best friend named William who has memory problems. And because of his acute anxiety. And one thing that I think we just need to dissect here is that what you will see watching this movie is a struggling actor that's showing the realities of Hollywood, where it is not this sort of picturesque place. This place is very gross. It has a lot of crime. It's fucked up. It's like the Las Vegas Strip on its worst day, most days. And he decides to take, if acting's not working out for him, he's going to take his car radio, his beloved car radio gets stolen. He's going to take matters in his own hand. He's going to become a vigilante. He's going to call himself Jericho.
So sick.
It's incredible.
This is really when the movie pumps up for me. I was engaged. Mm-hmm. I wasn't quite engaged at all during the second viewing because, again, my blood sugar was really low. And I also, again, just had food poisoning. So I don't know if it was really that safe for me to not eat that long.
Mm-hmm.
But... So I was kind of out of it and I had stars in my eyes for a lot of the second viewing. But what was the question?
There wasn't a question. It was simply just stating that. Well, I was about to make a point, and that point. Oh boy, hold on. It's right here.
Do you think we should stop eating these nootropics?
That's the last thing we should be doing. I think the nootropics are actually the amount. You should see all of the pieces of paper I got around here. It's amazing. The different projects that I've been able to start since we started.
I did kind of notice
the Alpha Brain.
Your office room is kind of just. There's just layers of paper everywhere, like little sheets
Tons of
little
paper.
scratch paper with little scribblings on them.
I got myself a Dremel. And you should see the cool little woodworking I can do with this Dremel. And for the listeners at home, I am holding up a Dremel kit, and I'm showing it to Patrick. Look at this camera lens. He's
going to make a little certified cinephiles helicopter for me out of wood with his Dremel.
Look at this little camera lens. I'm going to take this apart and put it back together again. I'm going to make it into a coffee mug. Look at that.
You should sell those.
That's the plan. Is that I will sell them. Another thing that I have here is this mechanical keyboard. You know I'm a huge fan of these. Listen to this.
Someone was at Sky Mall.
These are just some of the projects that I have going on.
That could be ASMR.
Yeah, these are just some of the projects. But back to Jimmy Hollywood. This man becomes a vigilante, and what you get to see when you watch this movie is you see him take on the crime in L.A. and how much it's beloved. What they have taken out of this movie is how he takes on the production studios and the Hollywood execs that are based on real people in this film that have snubbed Levinson, and how he goes about it. He's calling people out. He's calling out key players, people that match the puzzle, that complete the puzzle, that are the answer to how corrupt and fucked the entire world is because of the narrative that Hollywood and the elitist deep state of Hollywood decides to push on all of us. So what you'll notice is that with this movie, and you'll see these giant chunks of time missing. And it's from where Jimmy Alto, was taking on the industry. He was going after the producers that snubbed him, the directors that snubbed him, the casting directors that snubbed him. And they were based on real people. And for this, when the production studios caught wind of this, they said, hold your horses. We need to get rid of this. We need to nip it in the bud. And that was the fall of this movie. That's why you will see countless bots giving this movie terrible reviews. You will see no-name reviewers. You
Russian bots.
Exactly. This one's it's the most ridiculous, cheapo way to completely snub a film. And
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely.
I'm Arthur meme right now. Oh my god, I'm Arthur meme right now.
Yeah. And he means it. He means it. Do not test him when he's Arthur meming. When he's on the Arthur meme, you do not test him. So let's get to this, Pat.
You wouldn't
all right.
like me when I'm Arthur meme.
And I certainly don't. I don't want to mess with him.
I'm going to make that a TikTok after this.
Pat, what was the scene that left you speechless or, made you cry? Because I know from what I saw, there was quite a lot of those. I mean, I know I was crying.
I did cry, but I'm not going to count it because it was not anything to do with the movie, per se. It was kind of just like the circumstances and like my overall health, but speechless. I was speechless during when he comes out with the gun and he's pop, 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 pop. And everyone's like, oh my god. And he misses.
Because he's shooting blanks. He misses every single person because he's shooting blanks.
Because he's shooting blanks.
Yeah, that's honestly right in line with that was like right up there with me. Mine is the night before he's about to skip town because he knows that he's being chased by the police and these real gangsters and stuff. That he tells Lorraine, the love of his life, he says, "Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I never got to live out these dreams. I'm sorry I didn't take you to go dancing." And that one, yeah, you know me, I was being a crybaby on that one. Yeah.
That one did tug
Get the
at the
tissues.
heartstrings, but it didn't make me cry. I was crying for a different reason. My blood sugar was really low. I am pre-diabetic. And I think Will was trying to get back at me.
No,
Now
no
I'm
such
putting
thing.
things together.
Absolutely
I think Will
not.
was trying to get back at me. He's jealous about me and my new roles that the manager's
Absolutely
getting me.
not.
And
Absolutely
he
not.
Is not.
I love my roles that I get to submit to. I love them. I'm very great. I would never be jealous.
Will accidentally left me a voicemail that he meant to leave for our new lawyer, DJ, and I'll just put it in here and you guys can listen to it. So enjoy
No,
that.
I think that's okay.
It's too late.
You're
I already
You're
did
going to
it.
do that. Yeah, you're going to do that in post. All right. Well,
You
that's...
can't do anything about it.
No, I can't. All right, you know what time it is, Pat. You know what time it is. It's time for our God tier scene. Pat, what was your God tier scene?
My God tier scene?
Yeah.
I absolutely loved when Jimmy Hollywood and William are staking out the damn transients in the crack den.
Yes.
William's got the damn VHS camcorder.
Mm-hmm.
They're just shooting these homeless people that not with guns, thank God. They're shooting these hobos with a camcorder. Two of these thugs come up. And what happens? They drive away. One of the thugs whips a gun out, accidentally kills the other thug.
Shoots the other thug.
Through the car.
Yeah.
They're both in opposite windows in
Struggling.
Jimmy
They're
Hollywood's
fighting.
car.
Yeah.
Fighting as he's pulling away. One of them tries to shoot Jimmy. Blasts his own guy. They get away safe. It was one of the best action sequences I've ever seen.
Yeah. And it was all an accident. And it all felt like it wasn't an accident. You know? Like God intervened. It was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. For me...
The only other director I can think of, directors I can think of that do that. That
yeah,
make
we
me,
know
that,
exactly what we're about to say.
That have this moment where it's like, this is insane that this is happening, but yet I believe it. Mm-hmm. It's the Coen brothers.
The Coen brothers. I thought you were about to say the Wachowski sisters.
Oh, that's true too.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I couldn't even get through The Big Lebowski.
What?
I couldn't even watch The Big Lebowski. The Coen brothers? I couldn't even watch that movie. It's so fucking boring.
Have you tried any of the other ones?
True Grit? Oh my God.
What about any others?
Jesus Christ.
That's fine if you don't like True Grit.
Yeah, what was that other one?
Fargo?
Yeah, Fargo. Jeez Louise. You know, I will say that I thought Fargo was Misery. So I was really confused because I watched the trailer for Misery and I thought that that's what Fargo was about. And, yeah.
The lady isn't evil in Fargo.
Yeah, it just didn't hit for me. Fargo did not hit for me. And God, what was all of their films are so. Honestly, a lot of their films are so hard to remember. They're kind of like you just don't really remember them, you know?
I will give you that they're boring.
Yeah.
But
So
we're not
boring.
talking about them. Sorry to bring them
we're
up.
not.
You're reminding me that I really only like a couple things about them. But they are boring.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Sorry, I got derailed. Well, for my God tier scene, I'll say this: my God tier scene.
Did you hear
was,
that stomping?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear it. I thought that was stomping on my end, though.
Oh.
Yeah. Is there stomping on my end?
Not that I can hear.
It's okay if there is. But let me tell you, my God tier scene was very similar to yours, but it happens right before. You see our guy Jimmy Hollywood. That's what if when you watch the movie, you'll understand why he has two names. Jimmy, well, technically he has three names, but Jimmy Alto plays through the whole interaction with the police and how it's going to go down, because he knows he's a one-role actor and this is his time to shine. He's the leader of this terrorist vigilante organization. This is how the cops are going to face him. And it's better to go out like this than to rot in jail. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, he goes out thinking he's going to fire off all these shots with his guns. And the police are going to just blow him away. They're going to just... Turns out he's only got blanks, and his sweet Lorraine told the police he only has blanks, and so they weren't threatened by him at all. They knew it was just a show, and still an amazing performance on his end. He ended up serving 3 months in jail, 800 community service hours, and they made a movie about his life. So, good on Lorraine for having his back in that way.
And I'm sorry for kind of taking the gas out of that God tier scene by mentioning it in the other scene that I liked. But again, if Will would have just let me have like any sort of snack,
I think it was better that way.
I would have been able to pay attention better, and I would have kind of made sense of the movie a bit more. Like I said, I really liked it. I absorbed it. I got its essence. But I mean, if you would have just let me have like a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is I too fasted for this movie.
Yeah, that's fine for you, but like
I had a Subway sandwich.
I had food poisoning like 3 days ago, and I just kind of need to stay on like a scheduled diet right now.
But we also had a nice...
I am pre-diabetic.
Yeah, we had a nice walk beforehand, and, it got your blood pumping, us doing that, 2-mile walk, and you were ready to go.
You wouldn't let me have breakfast either. You're like, no, we're going to go on this hike. And I was like, I think we should eat at least a light breakfast.
And Horsetooth Reservoir looked great. It looked great. Horsetooth Reservoir looked amazing today.
And we did, it was nice to see you in Fort Collins, and we did have nootropics before we did that hike, and that did, I think, help, but...
Maybe a little bit too much nootropics. That's probably what got you. That's probably what got you.
I think we've been taking too many of those.
Clinically, there's no studies on this stuff, so it's hard. We're the ones that kind of have to play science with ourselves. So
it's kind of like vaping.
Yeah, let's jot it down. And let's record the results. Pat, I know that you
but
absolutely...
But also, you're distracting me from my point, which is that doesn't explain the awful voicemail you left me that I have already played for our viewers. Listeners.
I really wish you wouldn't have done that. I know I don't have any control over the situation at this point, and what's done is done. And
no, I'm the guy that does post.
Yeah, it's true. In your defense... I had this coming for sending you such a nasty little voicemail. I had this coming.
So, I don't care if this changes the dynamic of the podcast forever. The listener being able to hear lifting the veil on how Will treats me behind the scenes. But you'll get a good look at
it. It was a one-time occurrence, and I'm going to therapy for it. I've had a lot of time to sit
talk about
with
it
this
anymore.
Speaking
and I do
of
love him. I do love him, but it's just tough.
Well, speaking of
like
tough, and speaking of things that we don't like to talk about, we got to do it, Pat. What's the scene that you really didn't, that you might agree with the critics on, or not necessarily seen, but what is something that you agree with the critics on, if there is one?
Yeah. It's tough with this movie because I really did love it. Like I said, it's like my 7th favorite movie.
Yeah, which is saying a lot, really.
I think, Don R. Simmons, we'll get to him in a minute, but I do like it more when Pesci plays mobsters.
Wow. I felt like, yeah, I definitely feel like Pesci, mobsters are his bread and butter, but I feel like Pesci is so dynamic. He can play anything.
And maybe it was because it was a synthetic wig.
Well, there will come a day where you will have to be judged by God, and God will tell you straight up what the truth is about that situation, and then it's not a wig, it's real hair. And that is coming from our Lord's mouth.
Again, the hashtag is Certified Cinephiles Joe Pesci Wig.
Certified Cinephiles Joe Pesci Wig.
Certified Cinephile, hashtag Certified Cinephiles Joe Pesci Wig. And vote on there. Was it a wig or was it real hair? It's a wig.
Yeah, just let us know. For me, the one thing that I will agree with the critics on is, where was the sex scene? There's so much tension between Pesci and Lorraine, between Jimmy and Lorraine.
That is so good.
And where was it?
That's a great point, Will.
Where was it? Frankly, I needed it.
Again, usually I'm pretty horny for these movies we watch, but
Pesci
I was so lightheaded from not being able to have a snack before we watched it for a second time immediately. And I was really lightheaded, so I wasn't even able to be horny and realize there wasn't a sex scene.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of critics, let's get to it. Okay. Well, first and foremost, Roger Ebert, rest in dirt. The guy who has his...
Piss on your grave.
Yeah, he's the most he's the most corrupt possible word when it comes to films, but this is what Roger Ebert had to say. He said, "Here are characters who might have really amounted to something, and we can see the movie dying right under their feet." Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Roger? This is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's kind of a compliment to the characters.
Backhand compliment, really. I mean,
it very is. Not
Slater, Pesci, Abril. So, of course, Don R. Simmons from Film Critics Anonymous, not so anonymous, Don, says, "Stick to playing mobsters and not some weak fool." Wow.
See, I said I agreed with the mobster thing. The fact that he called him a weak fool makes me want to shoot him in the head with a gun.
Yeah, you're not a weak fool when you're playing the Batman of Hollywood. You're playing Batman of Hollywood. You're taking matters in your own hands.
Metaverse makes me want to put on my VR, go into the metaverse, find Don R. Simmons, and punch him in the head.
It makes me
in a video game.
Yeah, it makes me want to find him online, take all of his pictures, and then create my own account as him and then start messaging strangers in not like a very abrupt way, like this is obviously a scam, but doing it in a subtle way that builds trust over time. And then
That's smart.
And
what's
then
the time frame on that, you think?
I'm going to give it 2 months, and then I will make it seem like he is cheating on his wife, and yeah, I'm going to do it with his kids' friends too. So I'm going to make it. Are you
going to just be paying them, or
no? You're
going to make fake accounts of them.
I'll be making I'm making fake accounts that I will be exactly, and then I'm going to send all of that evidence to his family, everybody that's ever loved him. Yeah,
I'm also, besides punching him in the head in the metaverse, I am also going to create a pump and dump crypto scam in his name, like the Don R. Simmons coin, and I'm going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of it under the guise of that it's him, and then he'll go to prison for it. And Don, you will rot in prison, and I will have thousands of dollars because I tricked everyone.
That's amazing, and that will happen. Don't think that we can't do it because there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
What did we say earlier? Our backs are against the wall, and yes, we do squabble between the two of us. But at the end of the day, we are locked arm in arm with our backs against the wall, and we know when it's time to fight the true enemy, which is the Hollywood deep state elites, and the Church of Scientology to a lesser degree.
Pat, I am sorry I made you watch this film without any food breaks. I know that it wasn't.
Thank you. That's all I wanted was an apology.
I should have. I am really sorry about that. I really should have given you a snack. I had a lot of snacks available too, and I just really
like 15 minutes. Just like maybe go outside 15 minutes before we rewatch it.
Yeah, I think I was just. I think you're right that I was jealous about you're getting all of these cool roles and making it big time in this industry, and I'm still struggling, like taking casting calls for golden era projects. And
don't do those ones.
Yeah, I was lying. I didn't go to a Scientology party. I really do wish that was true, but I did dress up in my finest suit, and they just did not let me in. So, it's a half truth. Like I did go to the party technically. I mean, there was people that were attending the party smoking cigarettes outside. I couldn't make it past the front door, but I could sort of mingle out there on L. Ron Hubbard Way, which is a very beautiful street. Very beautiful street, L. Ron.
I'm almost thankful to them that they do not let you in their inner sanctums.
Yeah, I actually think at this point it's not that I don't meet the criteria. I think that I am on a very public shit list of theirs where they do not talk to me. They won't initiate with me, and I think that it's from a couple of the mixers last summer that really upset some people. I think I did some things that might have upset people, and in their eyes, I'm canceled. I'm blame it on cancel culture, but they don't want anything to do with me for whatever reason, whatever their prerogative is. And I'll leave it at that.
I wish you'd just kind of take my advice on this one and stop associating with the Church of Scientology altogether. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be time for that. So join us next week when we deep dive into some seriously bad shit. I mean, things are tough for us. We're struggling. Well, Patrick isn't.
Will crashed the Certified Cinephiles helicopter. And yes, I know that's not real life, but it's still weighing heavy on me because I live and breathe our fan fiction.
So join us next week and join the Patreon today and gain access to exclusive content on the Patrick Piss Network.
Patreon.com/birthdaypiss.
Birthday Piss. Sorry, I messed that up.
It's okay.
Join us on the Birthday Piss Patreon.
I don't even get...
Certified Cinephiles.